Hello, everybody. Whether you are jumping on live today with me or you are watching the recording later, I am so honored to have you. I am going to say something important today, and so I am hooking up my little microphone to my phone here while I give folks a minute if anyone was going to hop on. Pardon me here. I have a visual aid for us today, which I am excited about. My voice is still struggling a little bit from the Harpoon Wellness Weekend this morning, so my apologies as I try to project. But if you are here, I am so happy to have you. We are going to talk about 3 things today. We are going Boom. Here we go. Live, baby. Okay. We today are going to talk about some highlights of the Summer of Strength members, participants who are absolutely killing it and who are submitting great questions and having real relatable challenges that I want to highlight today. And then we are going to go through essentially 2 major pathways, if you will. People have been asking a variety of questions on both sides. And so I wanted to capture the story all together. And no matter what side you are, hopefully this gives you a renewed perspective and an appreciation for the bigger picture, because comparison is something that we put ourselves through so often that is unpleasant to experience. You always thinking, oh, if I'm an inconsistent workout person, I'm looking at somebody who's so consistent and admiring them, while the person who's so consistent may still feel really run down and burnt out, and they're actually having a problem slowing down and tapping into recovery. So the grass is not always greener on the other side. And so all this to say, I'm going to be talking about how to deal with, how to motivate yourself in a situation where you are not an experienced strength trainer, you are not an experienced maybe workout person at all, and you really want to feel well, and you're wondering, how do I make that leap? How do I actually really talking about sustainable and realistic, Meg? Even the workouts that you've put out on this challenge sometimes feel like a lot for me, like the basics. How do I motivate myself to really get to the point where I am a person who is consistently doing something for my health? And then on the other end, if you are that seasoned vet strength training person and you're looking at the specific methodology and framework that I'm putting out, maybe you're curious about it, but you're really married to your routine. How do you find it in you to let go a little bit and to feel like you are doing enough? If you're doing more all the time, but you're breaking your body and mind down, my methodology might seem a little, at the worst, coddling to folks, but it really honors the nervous system, and you can always build up incrementally, right? So, okay. Classic me, yap away. That is your big spoiler alert for what we're going to talk about. And I'm really going to break it down using a little mind map. But first and foremost, let me briefly go over the Summer of Strength highlights. If you're a Summer of Strength member, I am so honored to be chatting with you today. If you don't know, the Summer of Strength is a challenge that I started on April 21st. It ends on June 21st. You can join anytime during that period. You can send it to loved ones. They just need to enter their email, click the little, liability form, make sure they know what they're signing up for, all the safety measures and all that. All they have to do is put in their email, check a box, they're good to go. And in their email, they receive access to the challenge page where you have a couple of tiers of suggestions from me. You have a weekly split of workouts that includes strength training and a higher intensity cardio option for folks. That's true HIIT, very short. The whole video, including warm up and cool down, is 20 minutes. So this is something that you can do anytime. You can jump in for a day if you want to on the 20th. But people will have open access to all these things until June 21st. And then after that point, it will go away. I will always have some free classes on my YouTube channel, but this will be all funneled into my Lovely Bones membership after that, which is $35 a month that you can join anytime as well. Okay, so Summer of Strength members, you're absolutely killing it, whether you believe it or not. I have had so many people, and this is going to sound not empowering, but stay with me here. I have had so many people reach out to me, especially in the last week. We're on week 5 right now, so we're a little more than halfway through. We're just about halfway through, actually. We're really getting into it. And people have reached out to me and said, I haven't fallen off the face of the earth. I'm still here. I'm doing X, Y, Z in life. Life is crazy, but I'm going to get to another session. I'm going to do another session soon. And that is awesome to me. What does that tell me? It tells me that somebody, regardless of whether they had to take some time away for real life stuff, like this is real life. This is the realistic stuff I'm talking about. I had somebody reach out to me who just became a grandmother and she's stepping up for her daughter day in and day out. I had somebody reach out to me who's fostering these huge dogs and life is crazy. I had somebody reach out to me saying that her child is getting married and she's super stressed. Somebody reaching out to me saying that they're going through some tough times with family and their relationships. And all these people had really legitimate reasons to fall off, quote unquote, fall off the wagon of what they believed the goals they wanted to have for themselves in terms of sticking to a workout regimen. They were enthused to join this challenge. Then they felt, because of XYZ, I had to step away for a minute, but I will. They are affirming themselves, using me as a conduit of somebody to report to or check in with, however you want to view it. They use me as a conduit to make that affirmation to themselves, to promise themselves, yes, I will be back. I am not going to, spread negativity about myself in here or shame or say, you must think so poorly of me or whatever. None of them said that. They all knew how much I wanted to empower them and hype them up. They all knew that I was never going to tear them down. I was only going to encourage them. And so no negativity, just affirmation of, hey, blah, blah happened in my life. I wanted to, not that it's an excuse per se, but I wanted to just check in and let you know these real things are happening to me. However, still, despite that, amidst that, I will be doing another session. I will be committing to myself and to you. But I just think that's so, sounds so cheesy and simple that, they shot me a text saying, I'm going to do another workout. But I think that is really important to note how powerful that affirmation is. So if you are that person who's struggling and has not yet felt that you've hit this point of consistency that you want to be at, just know that consistency should be viewed over average in the long term, and you having the good mindset to not waste time with stress and negativity, but just jump back in, no matter how it looks like, knowing you are going to move the needle forward for yourself. That is the win. That is the sustainable shit that I am talking about. Okay. So shout out to you guys. Moving forward from that, here we go. Here's my visual aid. Okay. I'm going to give you a mind map. At the top is structured workouts. What I'm talking about is, again, our last 2 points on the agenda, how to motivate yourself if you're that person who is struggling, who is really new to strength training or new to workouts in general, and how to find it in you on the other end if you're a person who is a seasoned vet strength trainer and you are struggling to shift over to try my methodology because you're wondering, am I doing enough? So let's pull this up here. I'm going to grab my green marker to supplement. Let me pull up my visual aid here. It is super simple. Super simple. I'm showing my other little camera over there. Okay. All right. Are you ready? Okay. Structured workouts at the top. We're starting there. Are you a person who currently is committed to overall, on average, are you a person who is consistent with formal structured workouts? And now I want to be crystal clear, everybody. I want to be crystal clear here because you know that I empower people to call their walk a workout, call their physical activity a workout. I think people commandeer the term workout too much and you should be more free with it. But the point stands that right now I am trying to be specific. I am talking about formal structured bouts of physical activity. This is not to put down anything else. You just walking outside with a soccer ball and kicking it around with your friend or your spouse or whatever for fun can be a workout emotionally in your heart, and that is worth it, okay? You can tell yourself, I did my workout today. If that's what you can do and that's what's good for you, do it. All right, I'm a little neurotic about that, but I do also need to acknowledge that physiologically, according to the science, the health science, the research that we have available, it is in fact really beneficial. We'll take what we can get. Something's always worth it, but it is really beneficial to do formal structured workouts, and particularly there is endless benefit in structured strength training, hypertrophy training to combat that natural muscle loss that happens as we age. All right. So this is what I'm talking about. Are you committed right now to a routine of any kind that involves formal structured workouts in general, agnostic of strength training? Yes or no? So let's talk about our yes people. Okay. Let's start with you. Let's talk about the yesers. I think in the summer of strength, I have more knowers than I have yesers, but I think it'll be helpful for anyone who's in the no category to hear what struggles people in the yes side go through. The grass is not always greener situation. If you are on the yes side, okay, let's start with the people who actually are not committed to strength training, but they are committed to very often cardio training or other stuff. Boot camp classes, whatever it may be, right? Let's talk about these folks. What do I recommend for you? If you are a person who is already killing it with a routine that keeps you active, that activates your muscles in any capacity, right? That gets your heart pumping, that gets your mental health really benefited in aerobics. Mental health has a huge benefit here. So if you are on that pathway and you are that person, first and foremost, you should be really proud of yourself because sticking to anything consistently is difficult. However, I want these folks to ask themselves, be honest with yourself. If you are absolutely thriving and you are not limited in function in any way, and your mental health is popping off, then who am I to tell you otherwise? Keep doing what you're doing. You have free will. You deserve to do what you want to do in life. But I implore you to look hard at yourself and think to yourself, are there symptoms that I'm dealing with that I don't have to be? A lot of people, I'm using cardio heavy stuff, including boot camp classes as my main example, because that is super common these days, particularly with folks ages 18 to early 40s in particular and beyond. But these are really popular these days. So I want these folks to ask themselves, do you have sneaky signs that your nervous system is dysregulated, that you could be functioning day to day and killing it and getting through despite what's going on, but you're really pushing through some stuff that you don't have to be? For example, are your muscles always wicked tight? Are your joints feeling really stiff and achy? Are you feeling mental fog and real bad burnout by the end of every day at work? Other cognitive issues, memory issues. Are you having stuff going on with your reproductive system? If you are a person who gets periods, are your periods impacted by the activity that you do, whether you know it or not? You realize when you're, let's say you're training for a race and during that period of time, you are not bleeding as much, or you have different hormonally linked symptoms that are bothering you. Could that be related to a dysregulated nervous system? Do you have the oh so classic hot girl IBS, hot girl tummy trouble? Could that be related to an overwhelmed, dysregulated nervous system that is stuck up in the sympathetic zone and not allowing you to get down safely into the parasympathetic rest and digest? There are so many symptoms that you could be dealing with, that sometimes soreness in particular, and tiredness and fatigue overall. People wear these things like a badge of honor, but you do not need to live with them. You might be able to function with them, and you might be proud of that. And you should be, to an extent that if you were in a situation where you had no choice, you are amazing and resilient. And that is something to be proud of. However, at times it is, for lack of a less sensitive word, needless. And I've had people come to me, for example, people who are pounding the cardio and not doing the other stuff, and thinking that more is always better, and hustling to get their cardio routine to 6 days a week. I've had people come to me saying that they're having a hard time conceiving, trying to get pregnant, and they've had functional medicine doctors tell them that it could be because of a dysregulated nervous system, and their nervous system being constantly in fight or flight, being less conducive to allowing them to form life. I mean, this stuff can be really serious. Is it the all be all? No. But to something like that in particular, I don't want to, be misunderstood there. You can absolutely still get pregnant if you are stressing your system, but it's a huge factor. It's a huge factor for our most basic metrics of health overall. So with these folks, my solution for you is the science that I just gave you, the cold, hard facts that I just laid out. I want you to embrace the fact that balancing your routine more is science-based. It is the smarter way. It is not necessarily the systemically harder way, but it is the smarter way. And doing it the smarter way is more advantageous to your quality of life overall than doing it the purely harder way. Again, you should be proud. You should have pride in yourself. You can still crush it in your workouts. But could you add another recovery day in? Could you do what I'm suggesting overall and have strength workouts be the absolute shining star primary of your health and injury prevention? Adding into that the cardio that you want to do interspersed throughout your week, and making sure that you still have at least one whole day, if not two, would be my general recommendation. Days of pure recovery where you're not putting in that intense cardio work. I am here for you if you need a custom plan. If you want to sit down and have me program exactly the week that you want for yourself, reach out to me anytime. But my solution for you is owning the science-based facts, taking a breath, and just trying it. Just trying. Go super hard in your cardio workouts, and then on the other days, know that you are looking out for your body. Keep telling yourself that, okay? That's my advice for those folks. Now let's go over to the, yes, I'm committed to my workouts, and specifically, Meg, I'm actually really committed to strength training. To those people, I say, amazing. The biggest thing I've seen thus far, though, that I want to throw out to you and give you a pitch on why my methodology specifically, if you're not already abiding by it, could be really helpful for you, at least for you to take some tidbits from it. A lot of people who are doing strength training are succumbing to overuse injury. A lot of times I have seen patients come into me who were abiding by a structure in their workouts that is overloading one muscle and not giving it appropriate reprieve within that same session. In addition to overloading one muscle, they sometimes are overloading one side of the joint, one region of the body, if you will, and not balancing it out between antagonist and agonist muscles, meaning front and back. I'll give you the biggest example is people who want to do a push day, everything push, and then a pull day, everything pull on a different day. What you end up doing a lot of times is working the anterior chains, stuff in the front, like the chest and the quads, And then on another day, totally separately, you're working the posterior chain, things like the middle back and the glutes and the hamstrings. What issue you can find there is that you get into a situation where your joints feel less safe. And I'm personifying them, of course, but just stay with me here to speak simply. Your joints are feeling unsafe. You are working one side of the body without counterbalancing it. Some people can tolerate that totally fine, which is why that split is really popular. It's also, I think, easy for folks in terms of not having to memorize, the action of a particular muscle. They're like, okay, these ones push and these ones pull. Great, that's easy for me. I totally understand that. And you can still do push-pull as a fun theme, but I highly recommend supersetting, meaning putting exercises together, cycling through them in a row. I highly recommend making supersets that are comprised of antagonist and agonist back and forth. The thing that is on one side of the joint and then the thing that is on the other side that opposes it. Bicep and tricep, for example. Quadricep and hamstring. Abs and low back. Whatever that looks like, depending on what part of the body you want to work. I highly recommend that type of training. That is what I do in all of my classes. There are other many little tidbits that I consider, such as the flow from top to bottom. I'm starting with larger muscle groups and then I'm working my way to smaller muscle groups for the benefit of avoiding fatigue, over fatigue. I am structuring in a certain order, usually abiding by going from head to toe or going from one group of muscles to the other and making sure that your body just feels really, really stable and safe the whole way through. I'm rambling on yet again about this, but I'm telling you, the way in which I structure my classes, there is so much that goes into it, is my point. So if you are committed to your strength training routine and feeling like you're killing it overall, certainly I'm sure you're functioning no problem through your day-to-day. But again, be really real with yourself. You could be feeling like, I am doing the most. I'm doing everything I should be doing. And you should be proud. I'm not telling you that, oh, actually, you're wrong and blah, blah, blah. All I'm trying to say is, could we keep the same exercise you love doing, but slightly reorder them or reshuffle them around? Or maybe there is a particular exercise that is, you think you should do because it's cool or it's popular, but it's actually bothering you. And we could give you a swap that's still really challenging, that still challenges you, but makes you feel great. There are just so many options within there. And the people who, step back from pride and buy into letting me help restructure for them have found, everybody who I've worked with has found success. And again, I want to always balance hyping you up and telling you, oh my God, if you're at the point where you're consistent with lifting workouts, you are in a percentile where you should be so freaking proud of yourself. But be curious, be a lifelong learner. I'm not here to nitpick you. I'm here to give you the exact secret sauce that you need to not leave any results on the table. Who would want to do that? This is why I went to school for this. I'm here for a reason. I've got you. Okay. So if you're that push-pull person, I dare you to try. Separate body regions. Do an upper body day like I've structured. Doesn't need to be my workout. Do an upper body day, push-pull, back, forth. Do a lower body day, push-pull, back, forth, whatever it is, and see if that helps. There's a lot to be said about the warm-up and cool-down that you choose as well. A huge thing that I'll leave you with is, if you're not already doing this, the warm-up should be muscle activation. Can you start with a few stretches to kind of loosen up for yourself? Sure. But as you're getting ready to ramp up, you should be ramping up the nervous system. That, again, sends signals of safety when you do it incrementally and intentionally. Ramp it up in the beginning, activate muscles, and then in the end, with the cool down, ramp it down. Slow breaths, fluid motion, just relaxing and getting back to that point where you can go do the rest of your day and not feel jittery and wicked overwhelmed, not feel burnt out. So for those people, my solution for you is just to say, why the hell? You're already so committed. You're already killing it. Why would you want to leave results on the table? Trust in me. I've got you. I want you to, if you're really stubborn and you're like, oh my God, I don't want to do it, prove me wrong. I would love for you to prove me wrong. Okay, so that's my solution for these guys. Now moving over to the more general issue, I would say the more common concern and things that people deal with are on the side of the no's. The people who are saying, gosh, of course I want to be healthy and well. That's my goal. But currently, no, I am absolutely not consistent with any sort of structured workout routine. If you are a Summer of Strength member and you're in this category, maybe you've tried one class thus far on a day where you were feeling up for it and it felt too challenging for you, or again, it's just not in your routine and you were motivated in the beginning, but it's trailed off and you're struggling. If you are a person who does any physical activity at all, and I'm talking the bar is low, okay? We're empowering you. If you're a person who's feeling like, wah, wah, I signed up for Summer of Strength, or just in general, I am a person who I really know it's good for me, but I cannot call myself consistent at all. But I do move my body. I get out there, I walk when I can, or I play with my kids in the backyard, or I do the yard work or whatever. You do some physical activity, okay? Again, the bar is low. If you're that person, what I want to say to you is truly, I'm not saying this in a way that I'm trying to diminish your capability. I know you are so capable, but I want you to set your goal as simple as humanly possible to start. That is my biggest tip for these people. Set your goal as simple as humanly possible. It might seem like you're being too easy on yourself if your goal is to, let's say you go into one of my workout videos and you see a heel elevated squat, any exercise, but you see the heel elevated squat. You say, okay, clearly that has benefit for me. I can commit to that one exercise. I'm going to grab that. I'm going to take that as a tool in my toolbox, and I'm going to do little exercise snacks for myself. I am going to do 30 seconds of that heel elevated squat, get my knees going because I've had knee pain in the past, and clearly strength training is good for me. I'm going to do 30 seconds of it a few times a day. And I'm starting there. That might seem laughable to some people. That might seem like, oh my God, what a, little tiny weenie of a goal. But I'm telling you, psychologically, neuroscience is backing us in affirming ourselves, shifting the mindset. It might be hard to not judge yourself for this, but leave the judgment at the door. It's serving absolutely no one. Do your little exercise snack. No one has to know but you during the day when you can, even in the bathroom, whatever you need to do, and build from there. Could you be consistent with the little exercise snack a few days a week for a month? Okay, now you've got some traction under you. I've done my exercise snack a few days for a month. Could I try actually doing one of the workouts, maybe one of the shorter ones, like the half-hour one? I only do one set of each exercise and then I skip to the cool down. That's great. Now I'm doing some little exercise snacks, one video, maybe not even every week, every other week, however often you can do it. On average, okay, I'm doing this video once every couple of weeks. I started by just doing the first set and skipping to the cool down, but then over time I see myself, okay, building up some stamina, maybe I'll do the whole darn video. Now I'm doing the whole darn video a couple times a month. Awesome. Do I want to try another video randomly one day when I'm feeling up for it? Okay, I'll try the other video. Now I'm doing 2 videos. Now they're both in the rotation. Stepping up each incremental stair till the point where you find, okay, within a given week, I could do a couple workouts. Okay, now I've done those workouts. I can hold some more weight. Now I'm holding more weight. Now I can add some more intense cardio to my week. Maybe one session of 30-second jump roping and slowly add back up. There are a million ways to slice this pie, right? A million different ways you can incrementally step up. But the goal for these folks is start small. Start 10 times smaller than you think you need to start so that your brain can get the positive reinforcement and chemicals of feeling like, dang, I did that. I did it. I accomplished something, no matter how small it was. There are positive brain chemicals that flow through us when we accomplish something, anything. Then you need to ride that wave all the way. Doesn't matter how long the ramp is for you, make it long. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And eventually you will get to a routine that you feel good about, that serves you, and you will get immense health benefit all the way through. Last but not least, and I know I'm over time, but this is important. I'm going to finish it out. On the bottom of the board, last but not least, are my folks who are not committed to any physical activity right now and really outside of a structured workout are really not doing anything, like truly and utterly not really doing anything. You are doing no physical activity other than what is absolutely necessary to sustain life, and you are really struggling. For those folks, for you, my friends, whether you are experiencing depression, clinical depression, or any other severe mental health symptoms, whether this is long-term for you or whether it's more acute and short-term, I want you to do tiny little toe down, toe up, little calf squeezes. Squeeze your calf to press down your toe on the gas pedal and then stretch your calf. Squeeze your calf, activate it, stretch your calf, and you're activating the shin on the opposite side. You can do your little toe ups and downs from anywhere. And that is my first patented step. I'm being facetious here, but this is my first step, no pun intended, with the feet to getting you back to a point where you feel more grounded, more regulated, and have more energy. Starting with your toes up and down, you can do that from lying down. You can do that from any position. After that, maybe you bring your feet flat. You're in more of a bridge position with your knees bent, and you lift your heels and lower your heels. Little heel lifts. Then maybe eventually you do it in a seated position at the edge of the bed or in a chair. Then after you're doing it in a seated position, can you stand up, holding something for support, lifting your heels and lowering them down, little calf raises. From there, could you go to a wall? Could you get more incline so you have more range? Doing little heel raises has immense benefit for returning blood flow from your feet. People get blood clots in the lower body because of stagnant blood pooling there is so common. Our arteries pump the blood down towards our feet, and our veins do not have that same elasticity and pump to get it back up to the heart. So our skeletal muscle pump, as it's called, the calf complex, needs to squeeze and activate to help pump it back up. So doing calf raises is going to prevent blood clots. Doing a calf activation of any kind can help prevent blood clots. Circulate your blood, through your body, which is so important. It can also give you good neural input. Your feet are going to have to squeeze and activate in order to do that. Our feet are our foundation of everything. Giving yourself good neural input from the feet is going to have a overall pain sensitivity benefit. Then in turn, your calf and muscles within your calf has been linked very heavily in research to blood sugar and regulating your blood sugar. So if you've eaten and you get in that mood where after you eat, you're not moving, and so you get that wicked blood sugar spike and that horrible slump, that slump in mood or that slump in energy after the fact, doing those little calf activations, those heel lifts, especially those seated heel lifts when the soleus is active, which is a specific muscle in the calf, doing those activations can help you regulate your blood sugar and avoid that big crash. So for a person who feels like truly I'm doing no physical activity, I'm really struggling, my last category, that little foot up and down, that little calf activation pyramid of options that you have is the best advice that I could give you to start simple and small, something that anyone can do as long as they have control of their feet. And you can do it in a way, in an environment that honors what you need emotionally And know also that I am always here for you. I am a neuroscience specialist as a physical therapist that integrates mental health principles into my care plans for everybody. And I make sure that everybody feels good about what they're doing and empowered and emotionally and psychologically supported. So if you need me, I am here for you always. And I want to support you no matter where you're at, no matter where you're at in this mind map. No matter where you are at, I'm telling you, I have got your back. And I'm telling you, the grass is not always greener on the other side. Even the folks who are crushing their workouts have joint pain, have burnout, have all these problems. We lack nuance in life as a species. We lack nuance. We are conditioned by society to either hustle, hustle, hustle and feel bad slowing down, or we have been burnt out and beaten down, and we are in the category of, oh my gosh, I'm having a hard time picking myself back up. You can't win. So I'm trying to be that person who finds you, meets you where you're at, and gives you real solutions that are actually realistic and meaningful, that will get you to a sustainable, consistent overall, while being able to be flexible so you can live your life, consistent routine of doing what you need to do for your health. The reality of that muscle mass is there gripping us all. You need to keep that precious muscle mass, combat the natural loss as we age. And I want to help you do that in a way that feels really easy at the end of the day. Even if you hate strength training, that feels really easy and doable. Some little body chores. And at the best, a fun, invigorating thing that feels so good, that allows you to function and feel well for the rest of your life. That is my goal. All right. Almost 10 minutes over. And on that note, that is it for today. If you are in the Summer of Strength Challenge, thank you for being here. I'm here for you. Text me, email me, questions anytime. Keep killing it. Take care, everybody.